So now that we have a grid that is 6 inches by 9 inches, we are going to divide it up into 8 rows. Each row is going to be an inch and an eighth high. So all I'm going to do is go through and mark these off. So this grid is what we're going to be using to kind of place our proportions. And again, this is just kind of canon in the sense that this is an 8 head high male human figure that we're going to be creating. We're going to do first kind of a proportional basic kind of skeleton. We're not going to get into the weeds when it comes to like the details of that skeleton. These are just going to be like place holding shapes. For all intents and purposes, this is a tool used to just figure out like our height and where things go in proportion to the head, you know, where the hands hit on the thigh, you know, how big are the forearms in comparison to the rest of the body, etc., etc. Okay, so this is just a basic tool that we're going to be using. I have a lot of chicken scratch here and that I use for all the demos in relation to creating kind of like a basic human form, using this as an example. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do on the left-hand column is we're going to draw kind of like a spinal line, a line that's going to indicate our spine. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 rows, and each one of these little rectangular boxes is going to indicate a specific element of the human form. So from box 1 down to the bottom of box 4, we're just going to use a searching line and kind of create a place holding line here. This is going to be kind of our spine, right? Okay. On the very top, we're going to draw an inverted egg. And this is going to represent the human head for right now, okay? And then in box 4, down here, from the top of box 4 to the bottom of box 4, we're going to draw kind of a simple curved little tapered box here that's going to represent the hips, okay? So we have our head, kind of like our spine here. And we're going to go down to the middle. Just going to use this as the demarcation line here. Almost the middle of box 2. And this is going to be this distance from the bottom of the head, the chin here, down is going to represent our neck. Okay. This is going to be the line for our shoulders. And again, I only use the ruler to kind of create these kind of equal spaces here, but I mean, the human body varies in proportion from person to person. This is just kind of a generic human body that we can use as a stepping stone for drawing humans, drawing people in space. So again, this is the shoulder line. We're going to add some little curves here for the shoulder, and then we're going to drop down the upper arm down to line the bottom of the third box here, right here. Little demarcation of the elbows, okay, and then down to box 4, okay, and then we're going to indicate wrists, and then the hands. The hands are pretty big, actually. Just little crab claws right there for right now. Okay, so shoulder, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands. Okay. Now, we're going to draw the rib cage real quick up here. We're just going to make this to right around almost the bottom of the third box. That's where our ribs are going to end. Just a little curve and then a swoosh right there. So we have ribs, neck, head, waist, and hips here. And draw just the indication of where it is. Kind of like where if this was actually the hip bone, it'd look more like this, but we're not. We're just going to use this simple shape. I'm going to go down to box 6 here, and on the very bottom, we're going to draw the knees. All right? We're going to draw a line connecting from the hip area down to the knees, okay? So it's kind of like a stick figure skeleton. We're going to build off of this skeleton to make our human form. So this is part 1 of the human proportion, facing us. And then we're going to do on this side, on the right-hand column, we're going to draw the profile or the side of the human body. We're going to do that next class. This is just for today. We're going to do the front. Okay? Now, from the knees, we're going to do our calf areas. Straight down, kind of straight down. We're going to leave some space down here for the ankles, and then the foot. Okay, heel. And this one's facing out, and then here we're going to actually have the foot facing forward. Okay, this plan out. All right, so this is the front view that we're going to be working on today, and this will be the profile when we do next class. Okay. Now, get to this point, and then we're going to start kind of filling out the musculature, kind of a generic musculature of the human male form. Okay, so we're gonna start near the head, and again, I'm just gonna be kind of filling in the musculature kind of generically. Nothing dramatic, nothing crazy. We're not making Hulk, okay? So we're going to start with some lats up here, or is it traps? I can't quite remember actually, lats and traps. And then we're going to go down to the shoulder here, little shoulder muscles coming down, bicep and tricep. So bicep is on the inside, triceps on the outside. Pectoral muscles. Okay. So start filling in these muscles. Okay. Collarbone up here. Triceps, and then our elbows, okay, forearms, okay, going back up to the chest there. Notice how we've put in this rib cage, so this rib cage is kind of show us like how wide the upper body needs to be. Okay, I'm gonna indicate, this also helps us indicate where certain abdominal muscles are going to be. Okay, we have these things called obliques. Not love handles, obliques. These muscles are really important. Okay, and we're getting down to the hips and the quad area. And our abdominal muscles. We're not gonna go and make a six-pack here, but now we have these crab claws right here. See that? We're going to actually define those. So this is the thumb, fingers, as if it's, you know, like that. Okay. So we're going to show the thumb, knuckles, fingers, okay, just the illusion. Also, you know, we want to make sure that the wrists are wide enough. The wrists are not dainty things. They're important for us to be able to grasp and hold things. There's a lot of ligaments and muscles going in there. Your hands and fingers are a lot bigger than you think. Your hands actually hit mid-thigh. Okay, now we have a very buff guy who hasn't hit leg day yet. He hasn't been, you know, doing his squats and lunges. Very skinny on the bottom. So we're gonna start up here with the quads. Give them some generic shape here. Think those little sausages that you might have for breakfast. Okay. We're gonna give more pronouncement to this muscle on the inside than the out, and then the kneecap comes up. Okay, quad muscles. Kneecap, muscle. Don't worry, all these kind of disappear. It's not quite this muscular. But, you know, we're not going to show the... Just put a smiley face right there if you want. Okay? Just leave it up to your imagination. This is in a college class. All right, now, calves. Connective tissue and calves. Same thing. And ankle. Now we're just going to make a little hint of the big toe and the carpals, metatarsals, etc. And then we're not going to necessarily see, they're going to go off the page a little bit outside the format. Big toe, little toe, little toe, little toes. All right. Boom. So if I went too fast, I apologize. I'm going to put this video onto my YouTube channel for you guys to kind of see. Again, this is a very generic, very basic, not too detailed start of the human form, basic male human form. And I kept it really simple. Give him a little belly button right there. Nipples will go right there. But ultimately, you can use this, especially a lot of you guys, I'm sure, like comic books, you can use this as a basis for creating characters. I don't know why I put Stitch in there. It was just kind of a demo day, and I was just kind of messing around. But as you can see, you know, you have a lot of possibilities in taking this and using it. Now, this is just one part of the beginning of the journey in figure drawing. Okay, so this is kind of like learning your multiplication tables before you start doing higher math like geometry, algebra, and calculus. Okay. So I'm going to keep this up for you guys to kind of use as a reference for right now, and then we're gonna revisit this next class, and we're gonna do the profile of the person. Okay, so you have kind of a basis of how to create all the stuff that you need to kind of get down basic human form. All right. So any questions? I'm gonna stop the share.